This is the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose, where I strategize with business owners on how to grow and scale their businesses to hit their income goals. This is episode 282 of the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose. Today, we're going to dive into how do I promote my blog through email marketing. You have heard me over the last couple weeks really kind of dance around this topic, talk about nurture emails, talk about how you can make sure that you are growing your list. So, and also creating SOPs so that it makes it easier for you to continue to do this within your business. So we're going to really dive deeper so that you can understand what the purpose of email marketing is, because I know for many bloggers, it is something that is a hurdle to get over. Many bloggers feel that email marketing is clunky. There's a tech side to it. It's just something else that they have to learn. It's so difficult. We're going to make it super simple. We talked last week back in episode 242, we talked about how to grow an email list. So you need to make sure that you go back and listen to that one if you're not convinced yet. But we're really going to dive into this today as far as how you're going to use your email marketing to actually drive traffic back to your site. Now, before we get into that, I want to make sure that if you haven't already grabbed my email list growth guide, that you do that. Just send me a DM on Instagram. I will send it directly to you. I also have had quite a few of you take advantage of the content marketing audits that I am offering right now for anyone that leaves a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. So if you haven't already done that, send me a screenshot of it via DM on Instagram at Jenny_Melrose, and I will make sure to do content marketing for you for free. All you gotta do is leave a rating and review. It will take you 2 minutes, if that, to leave a rating and review, and then I'm gonna do a content marketing audit, which I normally charge $97 for. All right, so let's dive into this and really talk about how do you promote your blog through email marketing. So the first thing that I want to make sure, like I said in the beginning, is that if you're not convinced yet on how to grow your email list, you haven't really gotten there yet, go back and listen to episode 242. That will definitely help you. We're also going to, of course, link to that in the show notes. Now, what should a blogger send via email? That is always the question that I'm getting asked. And there are 2 parts to this. One of the pieces of which you want to make sure that you're sending is that nurture side of things. It is value, and you're sending them to blog posts. That is considered nurture, to actually drive traffic to your site because you're providing them with free content. Anytime you are providing someone with free content, which is what you're doing via your blog, then you are providing them with value. The other piece of what you can potentially be sending to your list as a blogger is a promotional email, which is then sales. You are looking for them to make some form of payment to you. So there is a difference between the two. I will have a lot of bloggers that will say to me, I see that if I send a nurture email, it can't be asking them to do something. I just need to be talking about them and telling them something and giving them a recipe for free in my email. No, that is not what we're doing. We are just going to drive traffic to our site. And that, again, is that nurture, that free content that you're providing them with. If you want to go back to the promotional, it is going to actually be you're asking for some form of payment. So how often should a blogger actually send an email to their list? This is another question that a lot of people have a tendency to ask. And with this, it really depends upon your audience and how often you have already been emailing your list. If you have only been emailing your list once a month, I would not recommend doing more than once a week right out of the gate. Ideally, I would recommend you're emailing your list 3 times a week. That is what I am doing. I am emailing my list 3 times a week with new content, and I am then also sending resends for those emails the previous week. So I send my emails Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we send our resends Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And the resend is just the same email from the previous week to the people that did not open. And this is a function that you can find if you are a ConvertKit user. There are other platforms that also have this option, but it's going to help your open and click-through rate. So taking advantage of it is a smart thing. But when we're looking at how often should we actually email, you ideally want to get up to 3 times per week, but you're going to get there based upon where you're starting from, right? We always talk about everybody's on a different path. Everybody's journey looks a little different. So where someone else may be starting and where you're starting could be entirely different. If you are just starting to grow your list and you're getting in the swing of things and you're having an opt-in and you're starting to create content consistently, right out of the gate, start emailing them 3 times per week. But if you're a blogger that's had a list for a while, you have done this really long newsletter looking thing once a month, then I wouldn't recommend jumping right to 3 times a week. I would try to get yourself up to once a week and then go twice a week. And then if you can get to 3 times a week, go to 3 times a week. I'm telling you, it is going to help you, especially if you are going to be doing those promotional emails where you are selling a product or service that you offer, or even an affiliate product or service of someone else's. So the next piece of this that we want to really start to look at is, what should a nurture email consist of? Because a lot of people, like I said in the beginning, like to think of a nurture email as just complete content, no click. That defeats the purpose of sending an email. If you are going to send an email to your list, have a call to action. So simply, if you have a new recipe that comes out, you're going to have a subject line that gets them interested. If you are a food blogger, I wouldn't get real crafty. I would be very straightforward, tell them what the recipe is, and then be able to send them to that. If you are someone that talks about parenting, maybe asking a question that then hits on that parenting topic for your subject line. Then as you get into the body of it, your nurture email is going to consist of a couple sentences. This is not a big, long email where you are having a theme and you are sending them 16 links to 16 different articles. We're writing 3 sentences. First sentence is an opener, just like your opener would be from your blog post. And then you're linking to the article that you're trying to send them to, with finally a button at the end that says, click here to tune in, or click here to read more, or go over and read more. You just want to make sure that you have a call to action at the end, but all you simply need are 3 sentences. Get them interested, have them wanting to know more about it, and then get them to click through to go to that article. Then the last piece of this, of course, we've talked about the difference between there's a nurture email and there's also a promotional email. Well, what should a promotional email consist of? Well, when it comes to that, your promotional email is going to have a purpose of telling them a story, hitting on pain points that they have that your product or service now solves, and sending them to that product or service to sell them. So your promotional email is very specific. And I would recommend that if you have multiple products, think about doing your promotional emails and in a series once a month. Now, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be breaking down even further, giving you some nurture email examples, as well as how to write a promotional email we're going to talk further about in the next couple episodes. So make sure that you listen into those if you're unfamiliar or not sure exactly what that should consist of. But when it comes to these nurture and promotional emails, it's important that you become consistent in order to nurture them. Because even if you're going to have sales, you have to be nurturing them beforehand in order to do those promotional emails. All right, you guys, I appreciate you so much for listening in. If you haven't already left me a rating and review, I would love it if you do so. Just send me a screenshot at Jenny_Melrose on Instagram, and I will do a free content marketing audit for you. All right, until next time, I will see you all then.